Again, guys, good morning. Um, we will be starting the session very shortly, and I see Mohammed has raised his hand. Mohammed, I request you to write your questions in the Q&A so that we will be answering those questions. And in the next couple of minutes, we are going to start the sessions. So please bear with us till then. I hope it's a nice Saturday morning for all of you. I see a few of international students as well. I'm not sure what time zone that you are at right now, but it's Saturday morning, 11:03 in India. We have our trainer, the mentor for today's session, Swati Yadav, with us. She's going to start the session shortly. Let us know, Swati, when you're ready so that we can proceed with the session. Guys, again, any questions, anything that you want to talk about or anything that you want to ask from the mentor, please feel free to write it in Q&A. Q&A is open for you all. Meanwhile, before we start, I'll just quickly introduce Unikaksha. So Unikaksha is a company where we upskill students. We have two major programs. First is full stack development and second is data science and Python. So, we also help students to get their placements, that get their dream jobs. So if you're interested, if you want to know more about it, please feel free to visit our website, or during the sessions, if you think that you want us to reach out to you, please write it in the Q&A. We have quite a few attendees now. We're just going to start the session. Swati, let us know when you're here so that we can proceed with the session.
Hey everyone, this is Swati.
Hi, Swati.
Hi, thanks Vijay. So today's session, that what we'll talk about will be an informative session on how to start your career in cybersecurity in the year 2023 and so on, right? So a majority of our personal and professional lives have shifted online. We all are experiencing that, yeah. And the work sector has especially seen a drastic shift to online spaces with the remote working and hybrid workspace model, right? That is the commonplace now due to the pandemic. Now, post-pandemic, we all are, either working remotely or in a hybrid model. So, however, as we become more independent, more dependent on the cyberspace for all aspects of our lives, we are becoming more susceptible to the attacks, the cyber attacks. So individuals, businesses, the entire government have fallen victim to online scams, the ransomware, phishing, hacking. So, over here, the main concern, it is the major cause of concern for the business as well, that there is an increase in the volume of cyber attacks across industries and geography, right? So as a result, what we see is organizations, they are expecting to increase their cybersecurity budgets to meet the obstacles of increasing cyber attacks, right? So ransomware attacks, if you see some data, there has been a surge of 105% from last year. So by 2025, that is the estimated, that cybercrime is expected to cost the world around $10.5 trillion annually. And the cybersecurity market is expected to reach a value of around 450-68 billion by the year 2030. Just give me a moment. hope I am visible, guys. So please do let me know if I'm visible.
Guys, can you please quickly write that? Can you hear and see us properly on the Q&A so that we'll know that you're attentive as well? Got it. I got a few replies on the Q&A. All right, Swati, we can continue.
Sure. So as I've been talking about a little bit of stats, what and how cybersecurity, cyber attacks, they are becoming more and more part of our daily lives. And given the current state of affairs, in terms of rising concerns about cyber attacks and the increasing budget for cybersecurity, the demand for cybersecurity roles is witnessing massive growth. So cybersecurity professionals are at the forefront in this field these days, and with India alone expected to account for around 1.5 million unfilled vacancies in the field by 2025. So consequently, a career in cybersecurity, it promises immense growth for professionals and burgeoning opportunities in cybersecurity as well. Okay. So cybersecurity, the professionals, they are in great demand, as we've been talking about the stats, how they are relevant. And as you can see, there is an increase in cyber crimes every day. So a career in cybersecurity is as rewarding as it is equally demanding. Okay. So cybersecurity professionals are wanted in large numbers worldwide. So because of the vast gap between the number of existing cybersecurity professionals and the challenges which are faced daily. So this is yet another reason for the popularity of the domain of career is because that these cybersecurity professionals, these are the ones that are going to protect the data of any organization from being compromised. Being a professional, being a cybersecurity professional, you are responsible for your organization's data, safety, and security. So you see, if you're responsible for something like that, how important role you hold in that organization. Now the next thing is, this is about why it's important, why it's something we are going to talk about today. Now, what is cybersecurity basically? Now you guys would be not okay, fine, we know there is some cybersecurity professional, they do this, that, but what exactly is cybersecurity, if I ask you? So cybersecurity is the defense against the cyber threats to systems connected to the internet. So if you are over the internet, we all might have come across this very basic thing called as virus. We go to a unprotected site, and what happens, we click on the links or something like that, and the virus enters, or there is a malware, or you click on some emails, you get a phishing system. So all those kind of things have happened to us as well. Now if it's happening on the individual level, we are losing our data, the data is being shared and whatnot, all other things happens. You imagine this to be happening at the bigger level, maybe at some organizational level, or kind of those in the companies, in the industries. There the data is more, they are more susceptible to all these attacks, and it is their responsibilities, their utmost priority to protect the kind of data they require to function smoothly, right? So the method is used by people and companies to protect against illegal access to data centers and other digital systems. So a solid cybersecurity plan can offer a good security posture against malicious assaults. Instead to which is intended to gain access, right? So if someone tries to break it into your system, they have access, they can alter, delete, even destroy or extort the sensitive data that you're trying to protect, and the systems belonging to a business or user. So security measures are essential, in preventing attacks that try to take down or impair a system. make it handicap, yeah, or devices functionality. So now that many companies, the financial sectors, the government organizations, they are looking forward to protecting their data from the hackers or the cyber criminals. Now, these attacks must be handled by some, professionals, the engineers, the penetration testers, security testers, and other professionals to prevent the attack, right? So there is one more term which you might come across when you deal with cybersecurity, and that is CIA Triad. Okay. So the security of any organization, it starts with three principles: confidentiality, integrity, availability. Okay. So next in this cybersecurity, today's agenda, you'll see about CIA Triad. Let me share this screen again. So we are talking about CIA Triad. So the security, as I said, of any organization starts with three principles. CIA, it stands for something. It is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So you can go for Triad. It's something like this. So you have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, let's see, what this is about. And it has served as the industry standard for computer security since the time of the first mainframes were there. So the confidentiality here is the principles of confidentiality assert that only authorized parties can access the sensitive information and functions, whatever is there, whatever information you're trying to protect. Only, the people, those who are authorized to access that information, to have the access to that particular type of information. Integrity is a principle. Now, the principle of integrity, it asserts that only authorized people and means, can alter, add, or remove some sensitive information and functions. Okay. So there could be, like you talk about an admin, you are making some project in that you have an admin who has all the rights to alter, add, or remove. And there is a user who doesn't have any right to the DB, right? They only have the view of their own system. So kind of that manner. Now, availability, the principles of availability, it asserts that systems, functions, and data, systems, functions, and data must be available on demand according to agreed upon parameters. So availability of the data, availability of the information, that should be there as you've specified that, and based on the levels of service. So the next thing is the specialities in cybersecurity. So before we do that, we have a small poll coming up for you guys.
So guys, you will see the poll in the next 1 minute. Please choose. It's going to be a multiple choice question poll. Just wait for it. All right. So what's the correct option for CIA trade? For all of you who are listening, they'll be able to answer the poll. We'll just see who has the right option chosen. We'll just wait for 5 more seconds, and I hope that you all have answered by now. All right. We'll just have the answers right away. Just wait for 1 minute. All right. So all of you, wow, all of you have selected the right answer. Amazing. That's good to see. All right. So that means that you all are listening to what Swati is just making you learn. All right. You can continue, Swati.
Sure, yeah. Welcome back. So now we've talked about what is cybersecurity. I hope that is something you might now be aware of. Let's talk about why is it important to have, security against, security for the cyber, maybe the cyberspace, etc. Exactly. Why is it important? So cybersecurity is important across different sectors, okay? Such as the government organizations, the startups, you'd say, or the mid and large, enterprises, and even for personal use. But why do you think that security is very important over here? So let's see, the gone are the days of simple firewalls. You might have heard of the term firewall along, growing up. Gone are the ways of just the simple firewalls that we have or the simple antivirus softwares that we had. They are, kind of outdated now. Being your sole security measures. So you should not be entirely dependent on these for the security of your, sensitive information. Cyber threats can come at any level of your organization. So educating your employees about simple scams like phishing, ransomware attacks, or other malware designed to steal intellectual property or personal data is a must for any organization. When you go into any organization, you start working, you start with your work, there you have, every now and then we have this cyber security orientations or webinars, seminars, wherein we are told, the do's and don'ts while working, right? What information is sensitive, how you can, what sites to go for. Thus, our systems which we have from the organization, they are also kind of like protected, we have limited access into it. So this is for the same reason, because the information which is, specific to any such organization, it's sensitive to them. It's, it's important to them. They do not want them to be shared. They do not want them to be altered. Yeah, because that will lead to, I could say, a ruckus over there for them to handle at the end. Now, cybersecurity risk is increasing, and without its help, your organization cannot defend itself against data breach, the campaigns, the breach of the data that happens. So all these factors are directly related to an increase in the job opportunities in this area. So before moving to the next part, let's also, explore some common questions that cybersecurity aspirants, you guys should have in, mind. Now, is cybersecurity right for you or not? The first question, as you might be from an IT field or not, but you are here for this, webinar, this Guru class. So this question should come to your mind, which is cybersecurity for me or not? Right? Now, before starting a career in cybersecurity, there has to be a certain number of questions that you need to ask yourself. Okay. And what are those? The first is your will. Yeah, you need to ask whether do you even want to get into this field or not, right? what's the what's the projected future for this particular kind of field. For any field, that is one thing that you need to gauge, right? How relevant will this field in the future? Will it be relevant or not? Means, will it be fruitful for me to start my career into this or not? That is the basic. Now the next is the first question, which should be how to get started with it. How to get started? What are the resources? What are the certifications? Where to go, even, to have this kind of education and build a promising career into it? What skills would I need? What skills would I need for a career in computer security, in cyber security? Do I have to go for any certifications? Any certifications to prove that I'm now cybersecurity professional? Will my role, in future involve a lot of traveling? That is all something which is going to come late. Now, the first thing is to get a hold of cybersecurity first, right? What are the entry level jobs? What is the career aspect of it? What are the job roles that I can get into with the certifications that I'm going to do, or with the, the course that I'm going to pursue? What are the career advancement opportunities? So all this needs to be thought before you try and enter into this field. So I'll try to answer most of these questions now, and like how to get started, what are the skills, the job outlooks, but the rest part needs to come from you. Means, are you even willing to delve into this field or not? Now, to how to start a career in cybersecurity. The first thing, right? How to get started. So to get started with cybersecurity, one must understand there are certain prerequisites for it. Okay. Though we don't, the one thing that comes is the bachelor's degree, which is now, kind of people are overlooking that, but still it's advisable to have a bachelor's degree in, in related field like in IT or computer science or a similar field. The knowledge of, the firewalls, the various forms of security should be there. Okay, the knowledge of security should be there. Knowledge of any, tools or languages such as Java. You can go for Java, C++, Python. You can even go for the whole FSD program. You can be well versed into full stack, because then you'll have a deeper understanding of how your technology is working and how you are trying to protect the data. The knowledge of the databases should also be there. Once you want to get started with it. The PowerShell, it's an added advantage to have a command line, knowledge. The networking, the Linux, Linux is actually the preferred, that should be there. And the basic is that you should possess the right eye for detail, and outstanding problem solving skills should be there. When I say outstanding, it means that it's the most important skill that you need. And why do I say so? You have some, kind of problem at your hand, you have like any attack which have happened. You should not be, throw yourself against this, that, now what to do, and so terrified, maybe what can be done. You should be calm in that situation. You should be able to handle the situation and provide with an excellent solution. right? So that is why I say that there should be an outstanding problem solving skills that you need to possess. Up to date knowledge of the cyber security or the latest cyber security trends and the hacker tactics which are going on. So your learning has to be there. It doesn't stop once you land a job, you know. So you have to have an up to date knowledge, because the internet is ever increasing. It's not stopping anywhere. You don't see it stopping any day now. So you only see that it's all, it's going to get bigger and bigger. That means your job role requires you to be up to date, to be on your feet all the time, right? So you need to have the mindset of a learner. You need to have a mindset of a doer, so that you are updated with all the latest cybersecurity trends or the tactics which are there, so that you can provide an efficient solution, right? The next thing is the career path. So before I get into the job roles, let's discuss about, the skills, what are the other skills getting started maybe. So in many ways, cybersecurity is similar to engineering, okay, or healthcare. So there are so many different paths you can specialize in, from mobile device forensics and incident response to penetration testing, endpoint security, secure software development, or security awareness. So you see, there are so many terms all related to cybersecurity. Okay, so in fact, the NIST, it has created a framework which lists all the different jobs and opportunities in cybersecurity, as well as what you need to be into this, to be into this kind of field. Fine. So if you are interested in learning about it, you have to start exploring, start seeing what's the difference, where you want to get into, because it's actually a vast area to be explored. So don't worry about your path just now. Let's take a first, kind of like a glance over here, and give yourself time to play with and understand the different technologies which are out there and the fields that might be of interest to you. So over time, your interest will guide your path. Okay, to get started, let's I'd recommend you guys to first get an overview of the basics. So first, your basics needs to be polished, they need to be there. Then only you can get into this field very well, kind of like become a master into it. So the first thing that you need is coding, so start exploring the basics of coding. You can even be a full stack developer in that area. You can even start with like software programmers or developers do, that stuff. I personally have seen people, those who have gone into this field from developers, because they had the experience, they knew how things are working, and then they have made a shift of being a cybersecurity professional. So coding is a requirement that you need to have. They create the operating systems and applications that run your computers, mobile devices, and web applications that power the internet, right? So perhaps start, first with a simpler language. Whatever language you choose, you can, go with that. You want to go with you can go with for something like Python. You can go along with the web development, anything, whatever you think or feel like is going to help you a lot, because this is the basic requirement that any cybersecurity professional should have, right? So you can go for Python, HTML, JS, Java, Ruby, anything. Now, if you discover that you enjoy coding, you can then move on to more advanced coding, fine? So you start with the basic. Let's say you start with fundamentals. You know that you're getting a hang of it. Now you need to move up. You start doing the frameworks. It's going to give you a better perspective over the development cycle. Okay. So that is that is the first basic requirement that any professional, any cybersecurity professional has to, satisfy. Then learn the basics. The next is the systems. You have to learn the basics of administrating the operating system, that run the computers. Now, so that is your servers. So we have servers that support and run organizations on the internet. Now you need to be adapt into that as well. You need to have a knowledge of, about that. The most common operating systems are Linux and Windows. Linux is the preferred one. It's actually usually the most preferred one, but Windows can also be studied for over there. And if the resources are available, I would ask you to start with Linux first. There are plenty of commands to go for, and learn how to administer Linux, using the command line interface, CLI, okay, as opposed to GUI, because CLI is the one that we actually work on quite a lot. So learning how to administer a Linux system from the command line to include scripting. It's an extremely powerful skill set that will help you no matter what path you take afterwards. Okay. So it's also easier to change from Linux to Windows than the other way around. So first, if you go for Windows and then Linux, that'll be a difficult process to, switch. But if you do Linux first and then you want to enter into the Windows environment, you can easily do that. Applications. So applications, they are programs that run on, servers, and these are what they provide the service. The services that the organization need to function. For example, you could say like a file server we have, or the mail servers or web servers. So your job over here would be to see if you can install the service, you can set it up and configure such applications to function properly. So that is also a very main point in getting started, okay? Then the knowledge of network, the network. Now, a network is a group of computers or devices that communicate with each other. Learning how a network, it works is an invaluable skill to getting to know the components of the network, what happens, to include configuring them to, interconnect with each other and the internet. It's actually a very important skill again. So other skills, they include like capturing and analyzing the network traffic, which is there. You don't realize it, but you most likely already, each one of us has a network at home, right? And think of all the devices which are connected to the home Wi-Fi network. If you can just configure that, that's also something that you've done. Now imagine putting that home Wi-Fi into any organization system, that's a big thing. So to kind of, how to configure, how to set up and to function them properly is also part that you need to understand before you delve into it. So not sure where to start learning with any of the 4 areas which I have listed, you can always come for the guidance to us. You can always, you can have the academic sessions or counselor sessions with us. You can even, go over the Google or, YouTube and search over there. What do you think is right or not? So there is no single source or resource where you can learn everything, but a right guidance will guide you into a correct path. So if you are interested into something, we are here to help you in that. Exactly. Now, the next that I wanted to discuss is, if you guys have questions about it, we'll be taking it up, when we'll be wrapping it. So I hope that's, something that we can think about. Now, the next is the career path, the career path that you're kind of, roles or job roles that you'll be delving into once you get into this cybersecurity field. So let's discuss that. Okay, so there is a small poll coming up for you guys.
All right, guys. So this is a poll from Unikaksha. Just want to understand that if you want us to get in touch with you, would you like to know more about our full stack development course? So it's going to be a 4 months training where we'll help you understand the full stack right from the start, right from the scratch. And then post that, we will also help you with the placements. And, if you have any questions, any queries, anything that you want to know about us or what we offer, please do select yes so that we can get in touch with you. We will just wait for 5 more minutes, 5 more seconds. And then Swati will continue. I hope you all are enjoying the session. You can write us any questions that you have, any technical thing, anything that you want to know more about your career, you can write it on your Q&A section so that we can answer it. Okay, so we are going to end the poll now. All right, Swati, can you continue? Let's continue.
Sure. So, now we'll be discussing about the career path in cybersecurity. Okay. So, despite its important place in the IT, in information technology, cybersecurity is still an emerging field. So organizations, they are just beginning to strengthen their cybersecurity workforce and creating new roles and hiring specialists against. So therefore, while understanding cybersecurity career paths, it is crucial to keep it broad enough to adapt, to the evolving needs of the industry, right? So in line with that, I'm going to actually talk about a cybersecurity career roadmap into 3 distinct parts over here. One is the entry level, then is the mid level, and the senior level jobs. So entry level jobs in cybersecurity, they require applicants to have like basic educational qualifications like a bachelor's degree or a certification, but might not expect the work experience. Obviously, it's an entry level, right? So here you would typically kind of like monitor the systems, detect anomalies, if any, escalate the potential threats to the seniors, etc. Now, with a few years of experience and some advanced certifications, mind you, there are many certifications that you need to go for if you are trying to enter into this field. Okay. So with a few years of experience and some advanced certifications, there is mid-level analysts, testers, or engineers. They take on a more strategic role. Okay. So you will design security systems. You are going to review, assess, and audit them as well for problems. There'll be some methods like ethical hacking and the solutions which are recommended. So you will also address the threats which are escalated by the entry level cybersecurity analysts and resolve them. Now then comes the senior level positions like CISO, which is Chief Information Security Officer, or CIO, which is Chief Information Officer. These are kind of like the leadership roles, and here you will take the responsibility for the security of the organization's whole IT landscape. Okay, you will create security roadmaps. You are going to review, negotiate the contracts. You're going to, get in touch with the vendors, engaging the vendors, trying to, make contact with them, etc., and manage the whole security teams. That is kind of like 3 broad terms, but this field is still evolving, it's still emerging. Okay, so there might be something, or the another kind of field that you might, think that, oh God, that, ma'am hasn't talked about that. Because when I say it's emerging, that means they're based on the organization, they introduce new roles. But at the heart of it, what you will be doing, you'll be protecting the data, you'll be protecting the information of the organization. While phishing continues, what are the different career paths to consider over here? And while the whole, the malwares or the phishing, they continues to be among the most common cybersecurity threats today, the criminals, they are getting creative, So these cyber criminals, they are getting creative with each passing day, and they are using very vulnerable, every you could say, vulnerability which is visible to them to attack and steal information from any organization. So they've targeted, let's say they've targeted an organization called Facebook. Now they need the data from there, okay? And they are trying to see every nook and corner of it from where they can just enter into the system, hack the system, steal the data. So that is how, they are into, kind of like stealing the data, hampering the data, and attacking the system. So as a consequence, organizations are also seeking professionals, cybersecurity professionals with skills to handle existing and emerging threats. Okay, so there are parts that I've discussed, like entry-level cybersecurity jobs. These are the early career, professionals with little or no experience. And cybersecurity as a field, it does not demand a master's, or an advanced degree to get started. Simple certifications which are there are what's required for you to basically excel in your career over here in this field. Okay. So a certification to demonstrate your basics might be necessary. That you are ready, you are someone that can be trusted with the information, that can be trusted to take care of the information. Okay. There are different positions, like you might, come across something like risk analyst, incident response analyst, so some of the certifications which are required for incident response analyst, it's the first responder. Okay, response analyst is the first responder of the cyber attack. They will investigate, analyze, and respond to cyber incidents. Okay. Moreover, they will also be proactively, engaged in identifying the threats, containing and eradicating them. Okay. So that is the first kind of role that you might come across is incident response analyst. There are certain certifications which are, kind of directly related to this role, which is GCIH, which is GIAC, Certified Incident Handler. Then you have GCC, you have EC Council, Certified Incident Handler. And you have one more, which is CCIM, CREST, Certified Incident Manager. These are a few for the incident handlers. Then you have a risk analyst. Risk analyst is responsible for performing regular assessments, of the cybersecurity, the whole landscape. And if possible, he also provides with some improvements or recommends some improvements. So this could be like, studying the access controls, the policies, the operational effectiveness, and so on. So they might also be required to keep track of the latest threats and analyze the enterprise systems for the resilience. Okay. There are different, certifications again, which might come in handy if you want to go into this field. One is CISA, CISM. You have CISSP, you might have heard this, the system security professional. Then you have CRISC. You want me to write it down? Let's write. So for here, you have one is CISA, you have CISM. This is the most talked about, CISSP and CRISC. These are for the risk analyst. So if you need to get certified in either of these to be a risk analyst. Then comes the role of a mid-level cybersecurity jobs. Okay. So after a couple of years, working as an entry-level job, as a cybersecurity analyst, most professionals, they move up to the mid-level roles. Like they go for the pen testers, which are the penetration testers. Okay. You have security engineers or the analysts, which are like forensic analysts. Now, this will be more strategic than an incident or a risk analyst, but need not necessarily be a leadership position. Okay, so mid-level cybersecurity professionals can be both individual contributors or they can be managers. So the role that you might hear of is a penetration tester. These are or the ethical designers, ethical hackers, They design, simulate, and execute attacks on enterprise networks and systems with an intent to identify any vulnerabilities if are there, and that they can be addressed. So penetration testers, or you might have heard a term called as ethical hacker. Okay, so that is the work of, what they do. They try to analyze, they try to find and identify the vulnerabilities which are there in the system and address them and rectify them. You might have heard of a certification called as CompTIA Plus. This is a certification that you need for a penetration tester. Again, it's helpful for any penetration tester. You have GIAC penetration tester as well. You have certified ethical hacker, which is CEH, certified ethical hacker, which is again a kind of like a likely certification that one wants to get into this field. Then the next kind, or the next job role that you might come across, is a security engineer. So a security engineer is much like a senior incident response analyst. While they do not, directly respond to every cybersecurity incident, they design and implement security focused tools and services. They develop the policies and, the procedures within the organization itself. So as a mid-level role, experience is as important as the skills and certification. So you can go for the certification just now without having any experience, but it's of no good use. So you need to build a good experience before you go for some mid-level or senior level roles. Okay, so experience is also important over there. The common expected certification for security engineer is again CompTIA, and security, CISSP, CISA, GM, and so on, CISM. So these are some, kind of certification. You have forensic analyst, which is an investigator who is going to follow the digital evidence, kind of like a forensic, doctor that we have, in crimes. Here also we have this role called as forensic analyst, who is kind of like an invigilator who is going to look at the digital evidence which is there and solves a crime virtually. So that is the role of a forensic analyst. Okay, they kind of like they try to recover data and determine how the security breach it happened. Try to get into the depth of the everything before they try and uncover the criminal over there. So they study how the attackers, they gain the access, they traverse the network, they see if there are any network breaches and what they did, etc. So that is the work of a forensic analyst. There are different certifications that you need to be a forensic, analyst again. And that is, one is called a CFCE. CFCE, which is Certified Forensic Computer Examiner. You also have CCE, which is Certified Computer Examiner. You have GIAC, Certified Forensic Analyst, which is GCFA, and so on. And you also have one which is called as Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator. Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator. There are many certifications pertaining to, kind of role you want to get into. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that experience, you can go for CFCE right now, but do you have the relevant experience to be promoted to this kind of like, job role? So experience also needs to be there before you do any certification, before you try to jump on to your roadmap. Okay. Now, the most senior level is CISO. So the chief or CIO. So this chief information security officer is responsible for the protection of the organization's data. Though each one of them is responsible for protection of organization's data, but he is at the most senior level. He is the one. So as companies, they collect more and more consumer data, right? This role, CISO, it becomes crucial across the privacy, security, the customer experience, the compliance implications, the rules, whatever has been laid out, and the policies, Therefore, the demands of the skill of a CISO are quite high. So your bachelor's degree is required. All the necessary, certifications are required. Plus an experience of something which is greater than 10 years is required. You should be experienced in defining the set of policies, the protocols and procedures. What are the few certifications that are required from a CISO is like CISSP, which is Certified Information System Security Professional. You have CISM, CISA, GSPPL, which is GX Strategic Planning, Policy and Leadership. So these kind of certification is required from a CISO. In addition to these technical skills, CISOs are also expected to have like leadership experience. A demonstrated leadership experience should be there. Analytical skills should be there. Project management skills, project management certifications if required, and a high level of personal integrity should be there. Again, for the next role which is there, which is CIO, which is Chief Information Officer, these the roles that it kind of originated in the information, and it's from quite a long period of time. And as more and more data was collected and used, the enterprises, they hired leaders, for their information or data practice. So therefore, while CIOs are not technically part of cybersecurity career path, in that, one can become a CIO without going through the cybersecurity career roadmap as well. So this role is certainly one of the most respected and high paying destination one want to land in. Here itself, you need to have a 15 plus of years experience plus a bachelor's degree in in the role that you're applying for. You need to have a business acumen, the financial acumen, and the operational acumen, experience in designing, and implementing the security policies, privacy protocols, and so on. You should have, now why you need to have cloud knowledge, for all of these, you need to have a cloud knowledge as well. I kind of like forgot somewhere in between to mention. Everything is on the internet. Everything is being shared through protocols, right? So there you need to have a cloud knowledge as well because of the big advent of big data. So experience in cloud technologies is also a fair point over there. Okay. So these are some of the career paths that you might, come across dealing with, this field of cybersecurity. Now, the industries to target, what kind of industries you think, can be talked about over here? What different industries are the, center point of cyber security or kind of these attacks? So we'll talk about that in a bit. We have a poll coming up.
All right, guys, I have again made an entry. We have a poll coming up. Just allow us a minute. All right. What industries can cybersecurity professionals work in? Now it's time to answer the poll. We will only keep it for 10 seconds. I hope you all are listening so that you can answer the poll. This also answers Aditya's question, which he has asked on the Q&A that I just saw. So Aditya, I want you to answer this as well. We are going to end the poll. All right. Let's see how many of you have given the right answer. All right. So there are a few students who have selected financial services, but the right answer is all of the above. So cybersecurity is, a field which is very vast and it is used in a lot of professions. All right. So I see most of you were attentive and they were listening to Swati's session. We are just going to end the session very shortly. Swati, is there anything that you want to add? Because we are just running out of time.
Nothing much. I see that all of you have, checked on the right answer. Yes, all of the industries which were there, like financial services, you need that to be protected. Again, the question which I saw for government, yes, the government again is something that needs to be protected. Healthcare department, manufacturing, all of these industries, these are the top industries to target, for cybersecurity job seekers and for each one of you guys. So once you're set, once your path is clear, once you've have the necessary things, these are industries where you can actually go, you can target as your potential employers and basically get a promising career, in that. So anything apart from that, would, if you guys have any questions which you want me to address, please feel free to ask again.
We are just waiting here, looking out on Q&A sections. If you have any questions, we will answer it. Else, we are going to end the session. Anything that you want to ask from me, from Swati, from Unikaksha, if you've heard about us. I'll just tell you what we do as a company. We have a upskilling course, which is of full stack development and data science. If you want to get in touch with us and know more, we also have, pay after placement services for students. And, we guarantee job placements. And it's just 4 months of course. If you are in the final year, if you are not working currently, or if you are working but you are looking for a better career opportunity, we are the right place. All right, guys, I see that there are no questions. In that case, we are going to end this session. I hope you all have a really good day. Enjoy your Saturday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.